you here to heal the world? Or to destroy it?
The 1,000-time delayed film Morbius is finally making it to the April Fool's Day. But don't worry, they're not making an April's Fool out of us. I completely lost my excitement for the film by this time, so does this make it up to us? You will soon find out in my review for Morbius. Before we start, let me give a quick reminder that if you are new to this channel, please press the subscribe button. I review movies before the embargo. Now let us start with the Morbius review. Sony started this idea of making standalone movies about Spider-Man villains with Venom back in 2018. They cast Tom Hardy to play Venom and he made that character his own. Now Sony is here with another Spider-Man villain getting his solo feature and they will cast Jared Leto as Michael Morbius. So, does he make this role his own just the way Tom Hardy made that role his own? Not quite. With all due respect to Jared Leto, who is a great actor and I absolutely loved his performance in House of Gucci, but he just fails to make this role his own. The whole character of Morbius is lame and 0% interesting. And even Jared Leto does not make it even a bit better. He has no charisma and no good presentation of any emotions here. The antagonist of the film is played by Matt Smith here, and his performance is the only good part of the movie. However, his character is not. I mean, it is the same old story. They used to be friends who become enemies. I'm just tired of this story. It is frustrating at this point, and this does not even do anything new to make it feel unique and fresh. It just does not stand out, and therefore I ended up caring about none of the characters. But Matt Smith does a good job making his character at least more interesting than the lead character of the movie. Michael Morbius is a scientist who suffers from a weird disease and he wants to find the cure of the disease which he tests on himself. But somehow he gets all the advantageous powers of a vampire and manages to not get the disadvantageous powers of a vampire. Duh, that's stupid. His friend who also suffers from the same disease also gets powers. While Morbius tries to use his powers for good in an anti-hero sort of way, but his friend uses the powers he was given to do bad things. What an old storyline they have picked. That sucks all the fun out of it. At least if the plot had been good, I would have been more interested in the film. There are a few good moments in it that assure that the film is not going to get somewhat of a super low score from me, but still, it didn't even manage to meet my really no expectation margin. Morbius fades in comparison to the rest of the Marvel universe when compared. I'm not a huge fan of Venom movies either. I liked the first Venom, but I thought the second Venom movie was quite bad. Morbius falls into the latter category. Now, I'm not saying it is trash, it isn't. I had a nice time watching it. Not a great time though, but it just doesn't even come close to most of the movies in the Spider-Man franchise. It aims for big things but never takes a shot, even if it thinks that it did. It falls to the bottom side of the franchise, joining Spider-Man 3 and Venom Let There Be Carnage for me. Maybe you think otherwise, this is just my opinion. Now, I was never a big fan of Morbius, but I am quite a fan of Spider-Man. But still, I never had interest in Spider-Man's face-off against Morbius. He was always a less likable villain from the comics, at least for me. But will you Spider-Man fans enjoy this? Those who like everything and everyone in the Spider-Man universe? Maybe, I guess. Fans might still enjoy it. I really don't know whether general audiences will. From the trailer, it is clear that the film has a darker tone than most Marvel movies, and people often call it more of a DC movie in terms of tone. Even I thought the same, it was more similar to Batman's dark tone rather than Spider-Man's colorful world. But that's okay, it does not depend on that. It depends on the character of Morbius rather than Batman or Spider-Man. And I thought that they really nailed the tone of this movie, which completely resembles Morbius, and there are a few Easter eggs for the fans to enjoy here. And that's the only reason I think the movie did not completely bore me out. Superhero genre is one of the highly evolving genres in terms of VFX. Remember when Spider-Man 2 got an Oscar for VFX and now its VFX seems weird? We have got excellent examples of amazing VFX in superhero movies like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Aquaman, Doctor Strange, Infinity War, and most recently, The Batman, to name a few. So, does Morbius live up to the standard of great VFX that has been said before? The answer is sadly not. The VFX of this film can't be considered good. It just seems way too off to be good. You can easily tell what is VFX and what isn't. And when Morbius finally turns to be in its complete form, gosh, the VFX was so poorly done. Venom had way better VFX than this. The movie has plenty of VFX moments, but almost none of them are great. Morbius is an unnecessary addition to this franchise, something that could have been completely avoided, but what is worse is that it can't even be called a mediocre film. I will give this movie a 3.5 out of 10. I like the Easter egg hunting in it. Other than that, it's just stupid. So that was my review for Morbius. Share your own thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, Film Villa.